Alright, welcome to, another video. I'm gonna try and have more consistent uploads, but, I just thought I would do something for the occasion because, if you didn't know, I recently hit 300 follows on Scratch, which is amazing. I've been doing Scratch for about 3 years now, give or take, maybe a few months. It's just amazing that I've been able to get this far, doing something I really like and enjoy doing, making the FNAF series. Or FNAF, I don't really care how you pronounce it. Doesn't even matter. But for the occasion, I'm gonna be trying to create a Scratch FNAF Fangame. But I cannot use variables whatsoever. So there is no variables going on at all. This is gonna be hard. So how I define me winning this, or completing the challenge. Basically, number one, I have to have a functioning game where I go from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. So 6 hours. I want to have at least 3 animatronics, and I want to have at least 3 nights. That way, it's not just one night. That's really easy to do. And I want to have, obviously, some of the stuff like having continue button, codes, basically just all the stuff you'd want in a regular FNAF fan game. So it's basically just me making a regular FNAF fan game, but without variables. And most importantly, I'm going to be doing this on a timer. So the timer has no significance in this. I just want to see how fast I can do it. But hey, without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so I've gotten all the animatronics done. Now we get to the actual coding. So that took me about 10 minutes. Which is a bit surprising because I barely put any effort into these models. Just enough to make them a little good. But 10 minutes, that's fine, I guess. Alright, let's get on with this. Alright, now here's my first real roadblock. Essentially, what this camera button does is, when you click it, it does cam up. And then, what I would usually do is I would have an if-then spray, and then I would have variables. But in this case, I can't use variables. So, it's a bit more complicated. So something I could do is, I could make a separate costume. It's completely identical. However, in the code, it's going to be identified as a different entity, if that makes sense. So whenever you press cam up, it's gonna switch one costume to the second costume, and then so on and so forth, which basically means it's possible to do that back and forth. Let's try this. So as expected, it does work. So there's no variables being used here whatsoever, or at least not, variables on the, I guess, traditional sense, because I'm not using any of these, not at all. So then how it works is there's two different costumes. They're identical, but it's checking the costume value to be, if it's 1, then it switches the costume to 2, and then it goes cam up. And then if it's 2, then it does switch costume to costume 1, and then it does cam down. It's honestly pretty smart. You can just do that back and forth. Now I gotta make the actual cameras. And now that is each of the cameras done. Now, they're all pretty simple. I'm not going to put too much effort into them because this is not meant to be really a full game. This is just me, doing a challenge. But I have some mechanics for this game planned. So all the animatronics are going to start right here. Some of them are going to move through the doors, and then one of them is going to go here and then shut down this air device. And then you have to shock them and blah blah blah. It's pretty much how the main arenas act in Sister Location Custom Night, where they mess up your airflow and you have to shock them. It's gonna work exactly like that. And then some of the others are gonna go through the door. It's gonna be pretty simple. You just shock them at the door. This whole thing is nobody actually enters through here. This is basically just to show if anyone's there or whatever. And the reason I made this office scroll is because I'm planning to have one character kind of like go in different areas. You have to put your mouse on them, and obviously you're going to need to scroll around to do that. Alright, so let me just, continue this, and, well, I'll see you in a bit. Alright, now here's the part I've been dreading. The AI. Of course, I'm gonna have to make them, because I'm gonna have to code the AI to not only make them appear in certain rooms, but also make them move and attack. Which is gonna be a problem. For sure. I'm not looking forward to this. right about here, I ran into another roadblock. See, how I wanted to make it was so that you can't actually see the animatronics in the doorways. You have to look on the cameras to see them there. The problem is, this script runs on if the costume number is the costume number of the camera sprite, then it'll show. That's how it works here, right? So if I switch the costume to costume 2, it'll only appear on cam 2 because it's the second costume on the second costume. The problem is, I would have to make a third costume that would appear. The problem is, it only appears right there. Basically, this means that I'm gonna have to make them appear at the doors, which, not what I originally planned, but yeah, sure, I can do it. Alright, finally I finished the first of the AIs. This one's definitely probably going to be the most complex one, so it should take a lot less time from this point on. Yeah, that's a good thing. So anyway, just to explain how it works is, and by the way, yeah, I know that it should disappear when you scroll far enough. I don't really care about doing that. Doesn't really matter to me. But anyway, yeah, how it works is after some time, this animatronic is going to move to either cam 2 or cam 3, where he'll be at one of the doors. Then later on, he'll move on to, right about to kill you, and then there's going to be eyes. All you gotta do is you gotta press that shock button above there. You just press that, and it's done. It's basic FNAF. It's nothing hard. And that's the most complicated AI. It's not taking much time. It took me about, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's really enough. In fact, most of it was probably just doing all the modeling for the, not only for the character, but for the rooms, also the eyes. Plus any other setbacks that were there. Alright, I'm gonna work on the, the Endoskeleton's AI. How it's gonna work is he will randomly leave the stage. You won't see him go off this. You won't see him in any other cameras. But once he's gone, you have to look for him around your room, and then you have to basically click him. So you have to look for him. You click him, and then you're done. If you don't click him in time, it's death. It's fairly simple. Alright, now that is the AI complete. Not for the purple guy, just for the green guy and then the endoskeleton. I already explained the green guy's AI. He goes to the different rooms, you shock him. What this guy does, I've already explained it, but I'll explain it again. What he does is, when he disappears from the stage, you have to go look around the room and then find him and click him. This should be pretty cool. Oh, I really miss variables so much. So, this is so confusing because they won't switch back to that costume, but I don't want them to switch back. Like, let's just say they're a costume 2, I don't want them to switch back to costume 2. Yeah, this is just confusing because I don't want them to switch back to costume 1 every single time. But they need to reappear. It's just this whole sprite. That's the problem. But I need variables. Oh, I just realized something. Okay. If I can have 2 sprites of that, oh, I'm a genius. Cause then I can just make it based off of that. Alright, it's time to work on the third and final AI. What I'm planning for this to do is, this animatronic will crawl into Cam 4 and begin messing with your air. There's going to be an air meter, by the way. So, if your air meter reaches 0, then you die, obviously. Anyway, how it's going to work is the animatronic is going to come in here, it's going to be messing with the air, because usually the air is going to be at 100%. But once it starts going down, you know someone's there. So all you gotta do, you just gotta press space, and then the animatronic will immediately go back to the stage. At least that's what I'm planning. Finally, after 2 hours, 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 57 milliseconds, finally I'm done this game. And there are absolutely no variables used. In fact, I even named this variable not using this because I'm not using this. Holy crap, finally. So this entire game, obviously it's not the best game. It's playable at least. So anyway, how it works is, well, I mean, it's FNAF. Do I really need to explain it? Anyway, you start a new game. It's night 1. It says it here. And then this guy is the only one that's really active. Or at least should be. Not gonna alter the code in any way. I'm just checking. Yep. Then I can go into the code and I can type in night 2 code, which is the night 2 code. Press continue. Would you look at that? It's both of them active, but this guy is not active. And I go into the code and I type in brasad. Would you look at that? Night 3 and they're all active. Now the only issue is this whole thing. Because kind of messed up the sprites there. I don't know why. I'll just fix that. I mean, listen, is it really gonna matter? Just add like an extra second onto that. It's nothing major. Remember, just think of that. So overall, this is a decent game. This I did not think it was gonna take this much time. But hey, if you'd like more consistent content, if you'd like more challenge videos, I would be perfectly happy to make them. In fact, my next challenge video is going to be exactly this, but no broadcasts. And that, I feel like it's going to be either equally as painful or way more painful. Oh god. Yeah, as with most of my side projects, this game is going to be up on my second account, EnderGamer8888. Yeah, it's just gonna be up there. I'm gonna have all the instructions there. Gonna have all the code, the credits, even though there's no credits besides, I don't know, Scott Cawthon, I guess. You can go into the code, you can mess with the game however much you want. I don't really care. You could play, it doesn't really matter to me. Is there anything I would really want to change about the game? Maybe make them harder on later nights, but again, it doesn't really matter. It's fine if there's just more active. But yeah, anyway, if you'd like more content like this, if you'd like just more consistent, uploads in general, just comment, give me more consistent uploads. Content, comment what your suggestions are. Like if you like the video, dislike if you dislike. And yeah, without and yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.